Alright, I'm Craig with Small Town Wreath Shop with the Bickums on YouTube, y'all. And we're going to be making a spring summer flip-flop welcome wreath today. It's going to be super cute. Y'all know I like the natural colors. We're going to be doing a little bit of burlap. We're going to be doing the purples and the pinks, two different. This is going to be our cruffles. We're going to do the poof method. We're going to do some cruffles. And we're going to do some curls. So here I am again using some open mesh that I already had, y'all. So it's going to take me a little while. I got to get things cut. But so we've got the sign. We've got our 15-inch raised work forms that are in stock. We have this in stock. This is actually in stock. So at smalltownwreathshop.com you can get this. Go check it out, y'all. This is going to be our ribbon tail. 2 different colors, 4 different colors. We're going to be working with them on top of each other. 2.5 inch, 1.5 inch gingham, pink and white, a little bit of glitter, and a little stripe to go along with all the colors on this sign, y'all. And we're going to bring in that little bit of yellow and that little bit of, I call it a baby blue, a light blue. So it looks really, really good. I like it. So let's get started. Get things kind of out of the way. We'll get to the sign. We got a lot of cutting to do. So I am going to be doing the pausing, and my other friends will get to stay with me for as long as they can. So let's get this poof method going with our 21-inch mesh, y'all. So we're going to get this on the roll so I can kind of get things going here. Everybody thinks these wreaths are really hard to make, but they're not, y'all. They're not that hard. A lot of practice, and you can do pretty good. These are 15-inch with 18 ties on each frame. And cut that old trashy tag off. Like I said, these are in stock. So most of y'all know that if y'all been watching me, I like to measure. I just do. When I do my poofs, just my OCD, I guess. I just like to measure. That's all. It's all good. But why not DIY something, save a little bit of money, and make something pretty at the same time? I never thought I'd have been making wreaths, but I do. Alright, so all you got to do is you scrunch up your end of your 21-inch mesh to hold that together. Just kind of get you a bunch up. We're going to be cutting that off anyway, and this is where I kind of start. I got a couple of longer tie wraps. They're little skinny tie wraps, and I usually start on the bottom. We're going to probably do, since we've got a new roll, we're probably going to do about 11-inch poofs on the bottom, 10s on the top. This wreath's going to be really thick, so just pick you one of the ties and start at, and put it in there, make one twist, and then we're going to tie wrap everything to the frame. And we're going to cut off that old ratty looking excess. I'm going to kind of get close up by the frame there, or by the tie, and just pull it pretty snug. That's all you got to do. Pull it pretty snug. Take your old wire cutters and cut it off. You can roll it around so it doesn't poke down or nothing. And then we're just going to take and we're going to cut all that excess off. Get rid of that. Makes it look cleaner, nicer. And now we're going to start our poofs. I'll be hanging up on everything. So we're going to go 11-inch on bottom. So you're going to kind of bring everything underneath. Bring your sides underneath together. I like to just kind of get me a poof made. Pull you kind of slack so it kind of gets long. Make sure it starts out good. If you don't start good, it won't end good. And I just like to measure, so just take your pick. I'm going to get on that 5 and I'm going to go to 26. So that's going to give us an 11-inch. You don't have to measure. My wife, actually, what she does is she goes over to the next tie and then goes back, which is perfectly fine. It's just my brain doesn't work that way. I gotta measure, y'all. That's just the way it is. But we can get it down in there pretty good. One twist is all you gotta do, y'all. And then work that poof to where it's got a pretty good shape to it. You can, you know, I keep telling everybody when we make these things, we're not building a watch, we're building a wreath. We're not building something that takes so much. Doesn't have to be perfect, even though I like for mine to be kind of perfect. And like I said, I pull my poofs together, and then I just go back in and just make sure everything kind of lays right and get it in there. We'll do one more, and then we'll get all that done, and we'll come back. So you just work yourself around the whole time, the whole wreath. Give you, like I said, there's 18 ties, so we started at the bottom or the outer ring, and we're going to move up to that inner ring without cutting, you know, or anything. Now, if you're just using a partial roll, you can cut it in between one and start again. You know, if you had a roll that was already open. And we're gonna be sticking so much stuff on this wreath, y'all, that it's gonna hide any imperfections that you think you may or may not have. It's very easy to hide it after you're sticking so much stuff on them. All right, so I think everybody kind of gets the gist of things and how easy that is for now. Now there is a trick that I want to show everybody that we do. So let's go back. Let me go back over to this second one, not where I started. Now we always take the ties on the outer ring. You see how floppy? See how floppy that is? And you want to tighten that wreath up. So you take your ties and you go underneath that middle bar and you roll it up to it, and then you twist it again one time. And you do every one of them like that. Now you want to make sure these things are kind of halfway about the same amount apart too. So just go underneath that middle bar, roll it up tight, and then twist tie it up. So it just brings everything up to attention. When you do that, it actually will make the wreath about an inch smaller. So it'll probably be a 25 or 26 inch. If you don't do this, if you do this, it'll bring it in to like a 24. But everything, look, nothing flops anymore. Not like this. It all gets tied up and it stays tight. So it's so much better that way. So I'll finish that up and I'll be right back. Alright, we got the poofs on all the way around on the bottom except this last one. Now on the last one, you got to go into your first one that you started. I'm going to get my poof like I want it. Make sure I get it right. So this is the one we started at, so we go right in there again before we go up. Now this one's a little bit harder to tie underneath. They start getting shorter. The more stuff you put in these ties, the shorter they get. And you still got to put a lot of mesh and the ribbon and everything. So sometimes you're going to have to start untying. Alright, so now we can go move on up to the top. So we're just going to kind of still get your same length. The same, well, no, you know what? We're going to go a little shorter. We're going to go 10 inch on the top. So now we're going to go all the way over. We ain't going to catch this one. We're going to go to this next one. And we're going to just catch it. And that'll bring us right in here on the top. Now you're on your top run. Same thing. Now if you want to just, I want to measure though. I just have to, y'all. I don't know why. 10 inches. But I felt like today, we got all of our orders out this morning, and I felt like today would be another good day for me to do my videoing. And y'all make sure, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate it if you get any value out of these videos. We'd appreciate it. We'd like to have you as part of the With the Bickums and the Small Town Wreath Shop family. I don't really like that. Didn't really like that poof. Just kind of work your poofs. You know, make sure that you get them bottoms folded under. Just to me, it makes for a prettier poof. And just keep working your way. These we're doing 10" on top. See how these are a little close together. So this one needs to move. Sometimes you can move them easy. If they move too easy, if the ties move too easy, I like to tighten them up with some pliers. They shouldn't be that floppy and move around. But you can still slide them if you put a little muscle into it. You can slide them. And that's what I wanted to do. But you can making these yourself, y'all. It really does. You can make some really. We make some really big and beautiful wreaths. Right now, we've made some really big Mardi Gras wreaths. That's down here in the south. We're in Southwest Mississippi. So I'm from Louisiana, and Mardi Gras is a big thing. Big thing and fun thing. Now these you won't have to tie up. We've got all the bottom tied up to the center rail. These will just sit there. They can fold forward, but they can't just flop backwards. Remember, 11" posts on bottom, 10" posts on the top rings or ring, because we're going to be adding all that purple and pink in. And I just like mixing all that with the natural earth tone colors. That's why I picked the burlap. You know, most people you see would make these summer flip-flop wreaths, and they bring so much of the pink and the purple and the yellows that it's just like really bright. And I just think this needs to be doused down just a little bit. And remember, we do have this in stock. Alright, so we're going to be almost through with this one. We're going to end where we first came up on the top. And so we're going to stick it in. Well, we're going to cut it, because we're fixing to wind up stopping right here. So now we're just going to kind of just get you a couple, 2 or 3, 4 inches, and then we're just going to cut it off. Just pinch it tight. Make sure I got it, and just cut it off and roll it back up. Now this is the part that we're going to tie wrap, just like we did our zip tie, just like we did on the bottom. You're just going to kind of bring him down underneath, turn him over. Stick it up against that rail. Find you somewhere where you can get kind of close, halfway anyway, and zip tie it up. And then we're going to cut that excess off. Give it a little haircut, just like that. Throw that away. Make sure we tight, but not too tight, because you'll break these long ones. You'll pull them and break them. Cut that off. And now we've got our base with just our poofs on it. So now we got a bunch of the other colors to cut. We've got to cut. Now we're going to be going in with our cruffles, which I think we're going to do the dark purple, I think. No, we're going to do the light. We're going to use the light purple for our cruffles. We'll use the dark and the pink together for our curls. The curls take a little bit of time, but for the cruffles, we're going to be cutting these at 18 to 20 inches. They're going to make, it's even going to be thicker, poofier than it is now. So 18 to 20 inches with the lighter purple. Alright, so we're going to use our rotary cutter. Just a regular old rotary cutter, y'all. And we're going to cut these 18 to 20 inches. Move something out of the way. I need to get me a sip of my coffee real quick, y'all. Community dark roast with my LSU coffee, lasered LSU coffee mug. My Yeti that my daughter got. If you happen to open up your mesh and it's not, this one's fairly straight, but if it's not straight, y'all just pick your line, make you a straight mark. This one's good. I think I'm just going to do the 18 inches because it's going to get really poofy in a hurry. So I think that's what we're going to do. Plus, we need to make sure we have enough mesh because we've got to cut 18 of these. So we're going to cut 18 of the cruffles at 18 inches, one for each tie, and then we'll start sticking them in. So let me get these cut and we'll be right. Alright, we got all the cruffles cut, I think. If I missed any, I'll have to cut some more. But we cut 18 at 18 inches of the purple, and we're going to put those on. So y'all remember, all we do with the cruffles, I use one clip, which I just had in my hand. What did I do with that clip? Anybody see what I did? Here it is. I covered it up. Alright, so I just roll kind of tight at the ends for about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times, and then I put my handy dandy clip on. Turn it around and kind of do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3.5, and then just scrunch all the way down the middle and go meet that other one. Take it off. You can put it on if you want, and that's what they would look like if we were doing a bunch of them and then just throwing them in a box. Same way we do our curls, which is a little different. Now my wife did tell me that I do mine a little different, that she puts hers, this is the opening where I folded together, she puts that down. I think that helps with any of the fray that you see. The last one, this one I did, everything's up. This one turned out so cute, the Valentine's one, and y'all can do that for me if you want to. Y'all want to do that? Y'all too? Everybody want to do that for me? Don't forget to do that. But I'm going to put it down. Doesn't matter where you want to start. They got to go in all 18 of them, so just take your pick. Let's go ahead and get the outside. So we're going to do the outside first. I'm going to do like my wife does, and I'm going to untie one time because we've got a lot of stuff going in here, so I need the room. Pull it down and just twist it one time. That's all you need to do. Yeah, this purple is going to look really pretty. It's going to look springy, it's going to look summery, and it's going to look Eastery. So you can get a few different seasons with this one. Now, and once I finish this wreath, it will be listed in our Etsy shop for purchase. So you can go check it out. So you make your cruffles, turn them upside down like she said. I'm going to untie one time, shove it down in the middle of that V. Get it down in there pretty good. And then just kind of twist one time. And then just kind of work them up. Like I said, you're going to have curls, ribbon tails, all that kind of good stuff. And you can roll your ends as tight as you want. I kind of like to roll them tight. Pretty tight anyway. And we've got all 18 of these to do. So we're going to get this one in. And then I'll be right back again once we get them all done on all 18. Like I said, no hurry. Take your time. Make sure it looks like you want it, not like somebody else wants it. Make sure it looks good for you. And we'll be right back. Alright, y'all. So we've got the base done. I know on the camera for y'all, not for y'all, but for the YouTubers, this looks blue, but it is purple. It's almost like a lavender type.
It's a lilac.
A lilac. Okay, so that's what you call it, lilac. So now we're going to cut.
There's your coffee.
Thank you. We're going to cut our pink and our dark purple for our curls. Now that dark purple is going to really set it off. These are only going to be 10 inches a piece. I guess I'm going to have to set this thing over here. I'm going to set it right there for now because it's kind of out of the way a little bit. Maybe it won't knock anything off. I had this roll open. There we are again, trying to use up things that we already had open. You know, save yourself a little money. These are going to be 10 inches. So we're not going to cut because we're going to need 18 of these. We need 18 pinks, 18 purples. Ain't that right? Yeah, that's right.
What?
We need 18 of each color.
Yeah.
10 inches, right?
Unless you want to do every other one.
No, I'm going to fill it up.
Okay, you're going to fill it up?
I'm going to fill it up.
Yeah, 18.
So we're going to do 18 at 10 inches. I wouldn't go any more than 12, but I think 10's plenty for a curl. So we need 18 of these. I'm going to cut one and I'm going to show you how I make the curls real quick. Now they're going to be different colors. Now this one, it just curls up like it wants to curl off of the roll. We're just going to roll him up. You're just going to roll him up kind of tight. Just the whole thing. You're just going to roll him up like that. Now we're going to put two together, but it's going to be a purple and a pink. So we got the pink. We got to cut 18 of these and 18 of these purples, and they're going to go together when they go on. So let me cut all of this because I got a lot of mesh to cut, and we'll be right back on in just a minute. So we've got our, I'll leave that right there maybe where everybody can see. Let's move this. I want everybody to be able to see. So I'm trying to find a place to put all this mess. I'm running out of room here. Alright, so we got our purples and our pinks cut 10 inches. We're going to put them together. This one's already rolled. It just rolls up like on the roll. You're just going to roll it kind of tight, and you're going to roll the whole thing. Now you got a lot of these to roll up. So you're going to roll it, and we're going to just cross them and put them together like so, like in an X. That's how they're going to go in. And that's how we're going to put them in. Now, since I don't have all my clips, we're going to be doing this one at a time. So just take your pick. Doesn't matter, wherever you want to start. Since we're going to, let's just start here on the top. I like to just stick them in. Remember, these are pretty thick. So we're going to untie. We're going to untie and we're going to stick them right on top of that crumple. Because you got to have that tie. We still got ribbon tails to put in. One time. Don't twist any more than that, y'all. Because you're going to need that room. And we're going to continue on with every one of them. So we're going to roll them up. Just use your clip to hold that one. I actually like for my curls to be kind of tight. You know, just like my my cruckles. I'd rather them kind of stay a little tight, stay neat. That's just what I like to do with them. Plus, the tighter it is, who's over there typing? What you typing over there?
I'm emailing Annette.
Oh.
I called and I hadn't got a call back.
Yeah, I know. Alright, so get them down in there. One twist. And just kind of separate them so they just come up. And they're exactly what they are. They're curls. They're just little curls. They just kind of stand up. They kind of go here and there. This wreath's going to be really, really poofy. It's going to have a lot of poofs in it. So we've got a pink and purple. So just keep rolling them up, putting your clip on them. You grab me a purple. Come down here. I'm having to move like everywhere, y'all. Talk about running out of space. Let's get the purple done. So there's 36 of these total. You got 18 of each color. See, y'all, he came apart. And like that. I like for them to stay more, a little bit smaller. Make your little X. Get your wreath. Normally when we would do this off camera, y'all, we would actually make every one of these and throw them in a box. They'd have a clip for each one. We got like buckets of clips, and they'd have a clip made, or just I say a clip, a clothespin, or whatever you want. Alright, so we got a lot of curls to put in, so we're going to keep at it, put them in, and I'll be right back when everything's in, the inner and the outer part. So we'll be right back after we get that done. Alright, y'all, so we got the base done. I'm trying to get in the camera here where y'all can see it. Now y'all can see how much, and look, this thing is really thick, y'all. It's really, really full. You can't see through it anymore. It's really bouncy, really poofy. So now we have got to put our, I guess it's going to be better that we put our sign on first. And then we'll try to work around. I could put all the tails on. What you think, Mom? Think I could put all the tails on first? Or not?
I don't know.
Probably not. Normally we don't. Normally we put all the... So let me move that big thing over there. So this is our sign. So we've got our welcome flip-flop sign. It's got like, looks like old boards. So, and that's what I'm trying to show it to y'all. So, looks really good. Super, super cute. These are in stock. smalltownwreathshop.com. I'll make sure that I link anything in the description below if you need to go and look at some of the some of our links. Now, some of the links are affiliate links. We do receive a small commission at no extra charge to you if you use one of our links. We're going to cut this old hanger off. We don't need that. That's just got a hanger on if you want to hang it on the wall. Not for this application. So we're just going to cut it off. Get rid of that. I don't need it. I'll have to sweep. Alright. Now we staple ours on. I'm going to use, does not matter what color you use. Look, we got some pinks right here. It's not many. There's a few pinks, so we're going to use a few pinks. So we got some pink chenille stems. All we're going to need is 4. I got 5. Now I do use extra ribbon. So we got a piece of ribbon here. Just a piece of scrap, 1.5 inch ribbon. This is some rain boots. That I'm going to cut into some small pieces. Because I'm going to fold that between the staples and that chenille stem, so those staples don't poke through and leave the little divots, little dimples, or whatever. I think it's divot on the back side. So we're just going to take a piece of that ribbon and we're going to fold it. I'm going to double fold it 2 times. And we're going to take our chenille stem. Trying to see if everybody can see, I think so. And just kind of lay it. I usually put one here, one here, one here, and one here. And I put about 1 inch or so, about 1.5 inches. You can go maybe 2 inches. You're going to have plenty. Right on top of that ribbon. Then we use, this is a Surebonder stapler. It's got 1/4 inch staples in it. And if you staple through that ribbon, and then you just raise it up and you start tying. And you just twist it on there, just like so. Twist it all up nice and neat. And because you put that extra cushion between that staple, that you don't have anything showing where that staple might want to come out on this side. So y'all got that? Just fold your little piece. We got plenty of little ribbon pieces laying around. I just picked one out from under the counter. Whatever color I have, it don't matter. Nobody's gonna see it. Just make sure you get where you want to. And staple her down. And twist it up. Now this one here, I may have to use my yarn needle on because it's got so much different mesh on it. It is a little hard sometimes getting the chenille stems through because of you have so much mesh. I just put it on there, open up my fingers, and staple away. Now this is, like I said, this is just some ribbon that I grabbed. That's the first short piece that I saw under the cabinet. So that's what I'm using. Nobody's gonna see it anyway. Try to get all four corners. Like if you're doing like a heart or something, something triangle, you can get away with 3. But I always like to use 4 on anything square, anything rectangle, to keep it good and sturdy, so it's not wobbling around on the wreath. Alright, so we got all 4 of our ties on now. Everything's there. So now we're going to get the wreath. And just kind of look at it. You can kind of mash down, make sure it looks the way you want it to. I'm going to kind of make sure these ties on top are pushed kind of to the out, away from where the sign's going to be, because you still got to tie the ribbon tails in there, and that sign's going to try to cover up some of that. So just make sure that they're out where you can get to them. Pick you a good place, whether or not you want it to look. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. I did this on that last one. So now that we've got this base made and it's round, I want to oval it. So I'm going to take it, I'm just going to mash it. I'm just going to pull it against my chest, and I'm going to gradually just kind of pull it a little bit, and we're going to kind of oval it up a little bit. It gives it that elongated look, which we really like. That's just kind of in right now. So see how we got it just oval, kind of like an egg, and it just gives it a totally different little look. So instead of being a round, it's more of a teardrop. Looks really good. Looks really good, y'all. We don't want to put it straight. We're going to put this thing kind of angled like that. And just lay it up there and take a look at it and see where you want to put it. Where it kind of sits good. Move some little things around a little bit if you need to. And just make sure we're kind of in the middle. And then you're going to have to start working. Like I said, I do use a yarn needle. It's a little plastic yarn needle that we got from Hobby Lobby. I think that's where she got it. Just put it on the chenille stem through that eye, and you're trying to go between 2 rungs on that wreath form. Whichever 2 that you get close to is the ones you need to. So I'm going to try to go between the inner and the middle. That's what I'm going to do. Now, all I try to do is, now we learned this from Miss Melissa Campbell with Crafty Max, is don't mash on it so hard, but just mash just enough, and get your first one kind of pulled down a little bit, and it happened to fall right on a piece of that where I tied that mesh in. But it's all right. Just go get it tied in there as good as you can. I'm only going to get, since these are a little bit short because we got so much mesh, I'm only going to wrap a couple times. Then I can start tying once I get it all on. So we're going to do 3 times. Now, I like to do opposite. That way I get the sign turned exactly like I want it. And that way it doesn't turn anymore. So it's just going to be at a slight angle. We're not going crazy with it. And you can kind of work through sometimes and find you a hole. I kind of pull it to the edge of the table, get my fingers between them rungs, and then pull it right on down through there. That needle does make it so much easier, but you can push the mesh around, find you some little holes to get in. Alright, so you make it about as tight on each side. You know, that way it's you're not smashing it so much, but it's in there good and snug. 2. We're going to go around 3 times. So we went around that top bar 3 times on both of those. And we're going to catch these other 2. Like I said, just kind of work through. You're going to have to go through some mesh at some point. Kind of the same thing. I kind of look at it, eyeball it, make sure it's kind of halfway straight, and then start wrapping it on. These are the signs and the wreath attachments to me are some of the hardest to put on. Sometimes my fingers don't want to go between where it's got so much mesh. It's just a little aggravating. Melissa, she don't like to put them on. She always lets me do that. Huh, babe?
Yeah.
This is the last one. Just try to be careful when you pull it down in there, y'all. That one came off the needle, but we got him. We got him now. Like I said, just get it a little snug, get a little bit of snugness on it. Make sure it's not going to move, but not too tight. And I kind of pinch it. With my fingers. And this one fell right in where I tied a bunch of mesh in too. Two, 3. Alright, before I start actually tying them on, I kind of make sure it's like where I wanted it. And then I go back and I actually tie it instead of just wrapping around, because if you just wrap around there, it will eventually come loose. So I go through, and I know y'all YouTubers can see this, and there's a little loop. When you go under, it comes from this side, it makes a loop, and I go back through that loop, and it ties like a couple half hitches. You're not going to be able to reuse these chenille stems, because in order to get the sign off now, you will have to cut it off. But you can have your sign, but you will have to cut the chenille stem. I just go back. It doesn't take but a couple, so I go through the loop 2 times, and it makes like a half hitch, so it kind of makes it like a knot, so it don't come off. You picking out your stuff tonight? Don't forget, y'all, we will be live tonight on Facebook at 6:30 Central Standard Time. We will. And like I said, I'll come back and I'll cut this excess off.
I gotta run in the house and get something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So they're all tied in. It ain't going anywhere. And now we got all this pretty ribbon that we've got to cut. So we've got our base with our sign. I'm trying to see. Yeah, it needs to go back that way a little bit. So we've got our sign on. Now we got to get our ribbons cut for our ribbon tails. So let me put that over there. And this is the ribbons that we picked out. So we're going to stay with a pink. It's a pink and a gingham, and then a stripe's got a blue, green, yellow on it that we're going 1.5 inches on 2.5. Then we're going to do the yellow stripe and the blue gingham, just for the colors of the sign. So you just kind of, go off your sign and pull the colors. Would have been nice if I'd have had some pink and white polka dots, but I actually have some pink and white polka dots there, but they're big and it's the wrong pink. It's kind of the light pink, and that's kind of the darker. So that's why we went with this one. So we're going to use Miss Jeannie Sanchez's ribbon tail boards. We're going to cut them at 13 inches. We got 9 a piece. So you got to cut 9 of each one, because we're going to be doing every other one. So 13 inches. I just kind of wrap it on the ribbon tail board, and then I just count out 9. So you got your 1, 2, well, make sure it stays on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're going to cut 9 of each color. And cut it off. Get your ribbon tail board out. Make sure he's on the right size here. And those little pieces that I bent over that's holding it on the ribbon tail board, I just cut off. Just cut right down the middle on both ends, and that little piece comes out. And then just cut the other end. And there you go. Alright, so we got 9 of that one. We can put that one back up. Some of these needles are so long and they don't really work really great. Now we're going to do the blue. So we're going to keep them together. So I'm going to show y'all how we cut our dovetails, and we keep them all the same length. So we're going to need 9. Now this is where it was creased at, so I'm just going to cut it off. That'll be a piece of ribbon that I use for stapling, is what that'll be. So we need 9 of these. And the reason we're doing 9 is because we're doing every other one in the colors. So we're going to alternate the colors. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Same thing. Just cut the ends. And we're going to do the other 2 ribbons the same. And I'm going to show y'all. We keep them separated. We keep them separated by colors. And we take the ones that we're putting together, whatever color that is. So we got the yellow and the blue. And we lay them on top of each other. No matter if it's both 2.5 inch or both 1.5 inch. And then we fold them together. I put the 1.5 inch down the center. Fold the 2.5 inch together. I always put the wire on both ribbons in my left hand, and I cut up toward the wire from the non-wire to the wire, and you just do it at a 45. Now I do cut some pretty fancy ribbon dovetails sometimes where you do them at an angle. I mean at an arch. They look really good. But I'm not doing it for this one. I did it for a couple Christmas wreaths. Instead of cutting like this, like at a 45, you round it off. Whoop, and it makes a really pretty pretty dovetail. And that's how we cut our dovetails. And keep your ribbons the same length, and then we fold them together. Now we're not building a watch, so it ain't gotta be perfect. So we got to cut all of these, cut these 9, cut dovetails on all of these. So once we finish, I'll be right back and we'll have them all cut ready to put on. Alright y'all, we back. So we got all of our ribbon tails cut. That's 36 total. 9 of each color. We got 4 different colors here. We're going to alternate on our ties. So we're going to do a pink and the striped first. We just fold them in half, and I unfold them, and right there in that crease you just accordion it or scrunch it up like that down the center, and you find your tie that you want to start with. So we're going to do the outside first, so just pick one. Remember I said these things were getting short. I don't always tie my ribbon tails in. A lot of times, like I'm going to do now, is I just bend those ties one over and the other over. I'm not tying it, I'm just bending it over. These are some heavy ties. I do like to do my my ribbon tails in an X or a cross. So I'll show you in just a minute. So I like to put one going one way and one going the other way, and then give them that little bit of a curl on that wire. And you can come back and you can straighten things up, but kind of sort of like that. So that's kind of how we like for them to look. That's how I do mine. Melissa does hers a little bit different. Hers will just be one down or both down one way. Alright, so now we're going to grab one of the other ones, the yellow stripe and the blue gingham, 1.5 inches. Just keep it in the middle, scrunch it up all the way across. Find your next one. Now we got so much mesh in here, so you got to look good so you don't miss one. And I'm just pushing it down into that V, and I'm just wrapping. Wrap it, bend it under it, or all the way around it, and then just separate it. It's wired. All the ribbon that we sell and all the ribbon that we used is wired ribbon. It will go where you want it to go. You just got to manipulate it a little bit and get it to go that way. So sometimes you got to be a little forceful, which is okay, and get it to bend like you want. And we're going to go to the next one. And you just work your way around until you get all 18 pair in it, because there's 18 ties on this form, and we're going to put one on every tie. Now when you get up there by that sign, it's a little bit tricky, a little bit harder, because the ties, some of them might fall under the sign. You just have to kind of dig them out. Just dig for them, and just find them, and then just stick them in there. And always remember, y'all, make it like you like it. Sometimes we don't do custom work, like for we don't do custom orders, may I say. We do custom work, but we don't do custom orders, because I don't know, custom orders makes Melissa nervous, because your vision might be different than her vision, if that makes any sense. So therefore, if you call and you say, hey, can you make us this wreath or whatever, even if you send a picture. Now if you send a picture, that's a little different, but if you just say, hey, can you make me an Easter wreath, and then we make it for you, and it's different than you thought in your mind, then that's it. It makes her nervous. So we don't really do custom made to order wreaths. Come on. Scrunch him up down the middle, if that makes any sense. Alright, so that's, I think y'all kind of get the gist of things there. So we've got that many in now. So we've got several more to do. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to get this one in, and I'm going to kind of show y'all what we're working with. That one there wants to be a little aggravating. Alright, so that's what we're working with right there. Look how pretty that's going to be, y'all. How stinking pretty is that going to be? So we got a lot more to put in. So let me finish putting all the tails in, and we'll be right back with the finished product, y'all. Alright, y'all, so we're getting closer to the end. You can see what this wreath's turning out like, y'all. It is super, super pretty. I mean, it is really pretty. Beautiful, beautiful bright colors. I'm trying to finish up the top. Now you can go back, straighten out any of your tails. The top ties are really harder than anything else because, as you can see, some of these ties, they get tucked in. They get tucked in, and it's, you know, it's pretty tough to get down in there to them. So I'm just kind of wrapping around, having to dig through and find where the ties are. Just take your time and just look for them and get that ribbon twisted around like you want it. And I'm going to mess up some ribbon, and some ribbon I'll have to go back and fix. And that's okay too. We're going to let this one here, I'm going to just let it fall under the corner of that sign. This side can come out. I mean, some pretty, pretty, pretty colors. That one there, I'm going to work on him as I go around. And there's going to be another one stuck under here. So you got to kind of just work with them. Get in there. Find where they're at. I know there's another tie somewhere. And if you can't see it from there, look at it on the bottom. So I know it's right here somewhere. Oh, this one's, it's way under there. So, hang on, I about untied him. Didn't mean to do that. But he's way underneath the edge of that sign, so you just got to kind of get a little rough with it to get it in there. Make sure everything gets bent right. They're not going to look quite the same working around that sign because they can't come on top of the sign. So you're only going to see, we may not be able to make the X out of both of them. We may just have to let them kind of lay like a V, like my wife does, because that's just the only way it can go. So we're gonna let that one stay like that. I don't know if I cut enough. We're gonna see. I may not have cut enough, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how many I got. But if you like these colors, and you like the bright colors for summer and spring, this one's going to be really pretty on somebody's door. This is going to make a statement. Somebody's going to see this and they're going to be like, where in the world did you get that beautiful wreath from? And it will carry you through a couple seasons. You know, if you're not going to be putting up your patriotic and stuff until late. But as far as like, man, you put this by the beach house, y'all. Nothing like some flip-flops on the beach. In the sand. Toes in the sand. And don't forget to make sure to subscribe to our channel. We appreciate that. If you like this video and you get any value from it, please give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that as well. Make sure you share and sprinkle and invite somebody to our With the Bickums page, our Small Town Wreath Shop page as well, on our other social media platforms. That is our website, which it will be linked in the description, smalltownwreathshop.com. If you want to purchase any products, the sign, the wreath forms, mesh, ribbon, stuff like that, then you perfectly can, and we appreciate that as well. And this blue gingham has the glitter in it like the pink does. Kind of hang it up. I'm just trying to straighten things out a little bit, y'all. Straighten them out. And I think we got just enough. Now we're getting back in there where they hid again. So you just got to kind of find them. This one's way under there too. Way down in there. And if you have if you wind up having a hole open, like where the mesh moved a little too much, when you get finished, you can come in from the back side, push in, and make that that mesh, you know, kind of poof back up from the middle. And that works well. Help you fill in any kind of holes or anything that you might have missed. But I think anybody that's got that likes the whimsical colors, anything to do with the beach, springtime, I know everybody's ready for some warmer temperatures. I know we are. And then we're getting them. We're finally warming up already down here, which we don't get a lot of cold weather. We get mostly warm weather throughout the year. Just a few weeks of actual cold weather. And this is the last one, y'all. So we're going to find him. He's under there too. He's way up under him. Open that tire up and get him in there. This one is going to be super colorful, y'all. Super pretty.
Hey, babe.
There's my wife again. And that is it, y'all. So I hope y'all can see just how cute.
That's adorable.
I'm looking up here. I'm trying to turn it to I'm going to turn it to y'all in a minute. I will put this one on for sale today. This is going to be adorable for somebody's door. I mean, and Easter, it doesn't matter. Easter colors all around.
Just spring in
it's
general.
Just spring, summer, everything. You're going to carry this. You could put this on starting in March, and you'll be done with your wreaths until June. You know,
no longer than that.
Before your patriotic comes out. So.
Well, yeah.
But anyway.
But you wouldn't have to put it down
right.
for patriotic. It could go through summer.
If y'all like this video, give us a thumbs up, please. We appreciate it. Don't forget, subscribe to our With the Bickums YouTube channel. That helps us grow a lot. Invite somebody to it. Make sure you keep watching our videos. We appreciate it, y'all. Thanks, everybody.